welcome to lesson 2A, spend or save. Yes, in this lesson we are going to talk about money. So tell me, are you a spender or a saver? Let's go, let's learn some more vocabulary on this. Here in this lesson we're going to learn in grammar the present perfect and simple past. So let's learn about the difference between them. In vocabulary, we will see a lot of different terms to talk about money. And in pronunciation, yes, we're going to learn about the many different ways to pronounce the letter O. Okay? Shall we do it? Okay, to start with, we have a song. Yeah, the song is called Girls and Boys. For this first activity, you will listen to this song about money, and then you will notice here there are some spaces to be completed, to be filled in, okay? So you will be using these sentences here from A through G to complete the gaps, the missing words, okay? Let's go. Let's listen. Listen and complete.
1.34 Song Girls and Boys.
Sorry.
1.34 Song Girls and Boys.
Okay, so this was Girls and Boys. Please listen again if necessary. Okay, you ready? Let's check your answers. Very well. So here in number 1, we have letter G. Educated with money. He's well dressed, not funny, and not much to say in most conversations, but he will, letter C, foot the bill. But he will foot the bill in all situations, 'cause he pays for everything. Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money. Boys will laugh at girls when they're not funny. And number 3, we are going to complete with letter E, paper or plastic. Don't matter, she will have it. Vacations. And number 4, letter F, shopping sprees. These are a few of her favorite things. She will get what she wants if she's willing to please. His type of girl always, number 5, letter B, comes with a fee. Hey, now, there's nothing. 6 is letter D. There's nothing for free. Sorry, number 6. There's nothing for free. Girls don't like boys. Girls like cars and money. Boys will laugh at girls when they're not funny. And these girls like these boys, like these boys like these girls. The girls with the bodies like boys with Ferraris. Girls don't like boys. Girls like cars and money. All of these boys, yeah, get all of these girls losing their souls in 7A, a material world. Okay? Alright, so please check a dictionary for the new words, the new expressions that you don't understand. But before, we can try to do by the meaning of the sentence this exercise in B. Listen again and read the lyrics. Which phrase from A through G, from exercise A, means? So let's see. You can put them together here now, okay? A material world. Which number expresses this? We have number 1, rich, cash or credit cards. 3, you have to pay for it. 4, pay the bill. 5, that you don't have to pay for. 6, buying a lot of things at one time. 7, a consumer society. Pause the video and try to connect, okay, match letters from letter and the phrases from letter A with the meanings in letter B. You're ready? Let's check your answers. So here, number 1, letter G, with money means rich. Number 2, letter E, paper or plastic means cash or credit cards. Number 3, letter B, comes with a fee. So it's something that you have to pay for. Number 4, C, foot the bill means pay the bill. Number 5, D, for free. That means that you don't have to pay for. Number 6, we have letter F, shopping sprees, which is the same as buying a lot of things at one time in a short time. 7A, a material world, which means a consumer society. Okay? Excellent. So now, in letter C, what do you think the song is saying? Do you think it is very cynical? It is sad but sometimes true? Or offensive to women and offensive to men? So what is your opinion about what the song is trying to convey, is saying? Right? So now that you took notes of your opinion here, let's go to page 154 so we can work on some vocabulary about money. Yes, here we have the words that we are going to work on. Be worth, borrow, can't afford, charge, cost, earn, inherit, invest, lend, owe, raise, save, waste. Okay, if you don't understand any of these words, please check a dictionary for their meaning, not translation, the meaning. So let's start here. Sentence number 1, we have, my uncle died and left me $2,000. Here, I am going to, the best option of these verbs here would be inherit. I am going to inherit $2,000. Okay? Now you are going to do the same. Here, for example, number 2, I put some money aside every week for my next vacation. If you put some money aside for your vacation, money every week. What am I doing with my money? Okay, so check the verb and see which one is the best option. So let's go. I am going to ask you to pause the video now and try to complete these sentences here. Okay, please. You ready? Finished? Checked? Now let's listen and please correct. check your answers and correct.
1.35 Money. Verbs. 1,
My uncle died and left me $2,000. I'm going to inherit $2,000.
2,
I put some money aside every week for my next vacation. I save money every week.
3,
My brother promised to give me $50. He promised to lend me $50.
4,
I need to ask my mom to give me $20. I need to borrow $20 from my mom.
5,
I often spend money on stupid things. I often waste money.
6,
I don't have enough money to buy that car. I can't afford to buy that car.
7,
I usually have to pay the mechanic $400 to fix my car. The mechanic charges me $400.
8,
These shoes are very expensive. They are $200. They cost $200.
9,
Jim gave me $100. I haven't paid him back yet. I owe Jim $100.
10,
I want to put money in a bank account. They'll give me 5% interest. I want to invest some money.
11,
I work in a supermarket. They pay me $1,600 a month. I earn $1,600 a month.
12,
I could sell my house for about $200,000. My house is worth about $200,000.
13,
We need to get people to give money to build a new hospital. We want to raise money for the new hospital.
Okay, so here, if you need to check, number 1 is the example. We are using inherit. Number 2, save. Number 3, lend. Number 4, borrow. Number 5, waste. Number 6, can't afford. Number 7, charges. Number 8, cost. Number 9, owe. Number 10, invest. Number 11, earn. 12 is worth. Number 13, raise. Okay? And please, again, check the meaning of these verbs, okay, in a dictionary. Important to stress some differences here. For example, borrow and lend. If I need money, I borrow money from the bank, for example, or I borrow some money from my parents. When I am giving the money, I lend the money to somebody. So my friend needs money. I lend my friend an amount of money. Okay? All right, so now let's go for these prepositions. Complete the preposition column with a word from the list. We have here the prepositions by, for, from, in, into, on, and to. So number 1, would you like to pay in cash or by credit card? This is the example. Now please pause the video. We'll use one of these prepositions to complete the other sentences. Let's go. Okay, ready? Now let's listen and check.
1.36 Prepositions 1,
Would you like to pay in cash or by credit card?
2,
I paid for the dinner last night. It was my birthday.
3,
I spent $50 on books yesterday.
4,
My uncle invested all his money in real estate.
5,
I don't like lending money to friends.
6,
I borrowed a lot of money from the bank.
7,
They charged me $120 for a haircut.
8,
I never get into debt. I hate owing people money.
Okay. All right, let's just make sure you notice that here we don't pronounce the letter B. That. I never get into debt. I hate owing people money. Okay. Great. So, if you have any questions, please check a dictionary. Number 2, we have here the prepositions paid for. Okay, paid for. 3, I spend money on books, on something. Number 4, I invest money in something, in real estate. 5, I lend money to my friends. 6, I borrow from the bank. I charge for a service, for a product, for something. I never get into debt. Get into debt. Okay. All right. Now, try to cover the prepositions here and try to say again. See if you remember. Read the sentences again and see if you remember the prepositions that go with these verbs. Okay, excellent. Now, moving on to activity 3, nouns. Now we're going to work on these nouns related to money. Match the nouns and their definition. We have here the word ATM, which is a British word for cash machine. Okay, ATM, automatic teller machine. We have the word bill, coin, loan, mortgage, salary, and tax. Okay, do you know the difference between loan and mortgage? So, for example, the mortgage is a kind of loan that you do. You borrow some money from the bank in order to buy a house. Okay, so it's a specific kind of loan to buy houses. Okay. All right, so let's go. Try to match, read the definition of the words and see which word goes in each sentence. Pause the video and do it. Okay, you ready? Let's now check your answers.
1.37 Nouns 1,
coin,
2,
Bill.
3,
salary,
4,
Tax.
5,
loan,
6,
Mortgage.
7,
ATM,
right. So, I hope you got them right. So let's hear just to practice the pronunciation. Coin is a piece of money made of metal. Bill is a piece of paper that shows how much money you have to pay for something. 3. The salary is the money you get for the work you do. 4. Tax is the money that you pay to the government. 5. Loan is the money that somebody or a bank lends you. 6. Mortgage is the money that a bank lends you to buy a house. 7. ATM is the machine where you can get money. Okay? And speaking of, there are some specific phrasal verbs that we can use when we are talking about the ATM, for example. You need some money. You say, I took out $200 from an ATM. If you say, I took out money from an ATM, that means you took the money from your bank account. Okay? Another word that we can also use for take out is also to withdraw. Withdraw money. I need to go to an ATM to withdraw some money, to take out some money. It's the same, okay? When can you pay me back the money I lent you? So, pay somebody back is the phrasal verb we use to say return the money, okay? Return what the money that the person paid you. I have to leave off my parents while I'm in college. If you say that you need to leave off somebody, especially your parents, that means that you still are a dependent on a person financially. Okay, so I live off my parents. I depend on my parents financially. It's difficult for me and my wife to live on only one salary. To live on means have enough money for basic things you need to live. Okay, so it is difficult for us to live on only one salary. It's like one salary doesn't pay the bills, so it is difficult. Okay. Excellent. Let's move back then to page 14. We finished here. Then we are moving on to page 15. Here, we're going to work on pronunciation. Here, in this exercise, we will be practicing and learning some differences of sounds for the letter O. Can you remember which word rhymes with money in the song Girls and Boys? Do you remember? Pause the video and go check. So if you're right, if you said that money rhymes with the word funny. Funny, money. Look at some more words with the letter O. Here, for example, money is one of the words that we have with O, which has a sound of money. Let's try now putting these words here in the correct column. We have here 3 different sounds for the letter O. So please read these words and try to see which column they go to. Okay, let's check your answers. Listen and check.
1.38.
Up. Done. Money. Nothing. Some. One.
Clock. Ah. Dollar. Honest. Shopping.
Phone. Oh. Close. Loan. Go. Oh. Sold.
Okay. So here are these three different sounds that we have for the letter O. Okay. I would like to show you something now about this pronunciation with the letter O. The letter O is quite tricky for students as it has several different possible pronunciations. Here we have some of them, so you can check out the rules. Okay. For example, here, O plus one consonant plus E is usually the sound of O, like in phone. For example, hope, alone. But there are several common words which have the up, sound. For example, some, money. Okay. The letter O between two or several consonants is often O, as in clock, holly, follow. There are some exceptions for worry, for example, worry. The letters OL and OA between consonants are usually O, for example, old, road. The letters OR between consonants are usually OR, for example, airport. But common exceptions are work and world, which are like in the bird sound, world, work. Okay. When you are not sure, my recommendation for you is to look up in a dictionary. Okay. Excellent. So now let's move back to page 15. Now that we worked on these sounds here, and O for the letter O, we have some more words here. Look at these words. All of them have the sound or, okay? The sound, no, I'm sorry, the spelling, okay? Or, O-R. How is OR usually pronounced when it's stressed? Which two are different? So let's see. How would you pronounce these words here? So two of these words, they will not have the sound of OR. So just for you to understand the sounds that we are talking about, it's, for example, the sound of the horse. Horse. Is this or, okay? So OR in English usually has this sound or for the horse. But two of these words, they don't have this sound of or. They will have the sound of as in bird, first. Okay, let's go take a look and try to circle the two words that don't have the or sound, that will have this sound. Are you ready? Can we check? Let's see.
1.39.
afford, order, worth, organized, mortgage, store, work.
Okay, so which of these words um, have the different sound, the different or sound? If you said worth and work, you got it right. Okay, so it's common for the words to have this or, like in horse sound, but when in these cases here, they are like exceptions. They have sound. Okay, let's move on to letter E. Letter F. Let's practice saying these sentences. Pause the video and try to pronounce them. Okay, so let's go. Let's go shopping for clothes. Can I borrow some money? He won $1 million. They can't afford to pay the mortgage. I work in a store. I've done nothing wrong. Okay, great. All right, now we have a reading and speaking exercise. Read the questionnaire and choose your answers. We are going to compare your answers in our online class, okay? So let's see. This is a kind of questionnaire to see if you are a spender, a person who loves spending his or her money, or if you are a saver, a person who likes to save the money, not to spend on anything, okay? Question number 1 for you. You go shopping and you see something very expensive that you really want but can't afford. What do? Letter A. You buy it with your credit card. You can worry about the bill next month. B. You already have some money in the bank and plan to save for a couple of weeks and then buy the thing you want. Or C. You borrow the money and agree to pay back a small amount every week. A, B, or C. Number 2. You get $100 for your birthday. You A. Spend some of it and save some. B. You go straight to a shopping mall and spend it all. C. You put all of it in your bank account until you know what you want to spend it on. What do? A, B, or C? 3. Do you always know how much money you have spent, and on what? Letter A. Yes, I'm very organized and know exactly what I have and what I've spent. B. No, I have no idea. When I have money, I usually just spend it. C. I usually have a rough idea about what I spend my money on. A, B, or C? 4. You borrow some money from a friend, but you don't think that you will be able to pay it back by the time you promised to. You don't worry about it. Hopefully your friend will forget about it too. Letter B. You figure out how much money you have and how much you owe. You speak to your friend and explain the situation and offer to pay the money back in small installments. Or C. You talk to your friend and promise that you will pay him or her back, but it might take a little longer than you first thought. Number 5. You have a friend who often borrows money from you and never pays you back. He or she wants to borrow $50. You lend him or her the money. You can afford it and it doesn't matter if you don't get it back. B. You say no. He or she owes you too much already. Or C. You lend them money but explain that it is the last time until he or she has paid back this loan. What do you do? A, B, or C? So now, if you need to check any words here, please do it. Answer the questions, and as you are ready, let's continue. Let's find out if you are a spender or a saver. Go to page 104 to communication. Here. For the answers, you need to calculate. Check if you have more A answers. If you do, if you have mostly A answers, it means you can be trusted with your own money. You definitely need someone to help you to manage your finances better. Why not speak to an organized friend about how to plan? This will help you to make your money go further and stop you from getting into debt. Now, if mostly B answers is what you've got, although you understand how to manage your money, sometimes you need to be a little more organized. But maybe you can try setting yourself a weekly or monthly budget and then stick to it. You will then know how much money you have, what to spend it on, and how much you can save. Mostly C answers. Congratulations! It sounds like you really know what you're doing when it comes to managing your money. You know how important it is to keep track of your spendings and are responsible with your money. Good job. That was wonderful. Okay, so this is the result to your test. Hope you enjoyed it. All right, now let's hear from 6 people, and they are going to answer the question: are you a spender or a saver? How many of the answers here are savers? So let's go. We have 2 exercises based on this audio. First of all, we're going to listen and decide how many people of these 6 people, okay, is really a saver. How many of them are savers?
1.40. 1.
I'm a spender, I think. I try to save, but something always seems to come along that I need to buy, and I end up broke. I can get by with very little money for myself when I need to, but I don't seem to be good at holding on to it. Also, if my kids ask to borrow some money, I always say yes.
2.
I would say that I'm a spender. I spend money on things like concerts or on trips because I like having the experience and the memories. I know that I should spend my money on things that last or save for the future, but I don't want to miss all those good things that are happening right now.
3.
I consider myself a spender. I don't have much money, but when I do have some, there's always something I need or want to spend it on. I love computers and computer games, so I buy things to make sure my computer is always up to date. I know it's not very sensible, but it's important to me.
4.
That's hard to say. I can save money if there's something I really, really want, but usually my money disappears as soon as I get it. I get some money from my parents every week, so I have just enough money to go to the movies with my friends and to buy something for myself. Maybe a book or a DVD or some makeup. I usually end up buying something. But, for example, if I want to go on a trip with my friends, then I can make an effort and save some money for a few weeks.
5.
Since I was little, I've always saved about a third of the money I get. I would never think of spending all the money I have. You could say that I'm careful about money. When I want to buy something that's expensive, I don't use a credit card. I take the money out of the bank, so I never have to worry about getting into debt.
6.
I'd say a saver, definitely. I like having some money saved in case I have an emergency. I also think very carefully before I buy something, and I always make sure it's the best I can buy for that price. But I wouldn't describe myself as cheap. I love buying presents for people, and when I do spend my money, I like to buy nice things, even if they're more expensive.
Okay, so how many of these people are savers? If you answered 2 of them, you got it right. Very good. So now let's try to listen once again, but this time you are going to connect the sentences to the speakers. So for example, which of them says always has money in the bank? Often ends up with no money. Thinks he or she is careful with money but not cheap. Enjoys spending money on his or her hobby. Can save money if he or she needs to. Prefers to live now than worry about the future. Let's go. Write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
1.40. 1.
I'm a spender, I think. I try to save, but something always seems to come along that I need to buy, and I end up broke. I can get by with very little money for myself when I need to, but I don't seem to be good at holding on to it. Also, if my kids ask to borrow some money, I always say yes.
2.
I would say that I'm a spender. I spend money on things like concerts or on trips because I like having the experience and the memories. I know that I should spend my money on things that last or save for the future, but I don't want to miss all those good things that are happening right now.
3.
I consider myself a spender. I don't have much money, but when I do have some, there's always something I need or want to spend it on. I love computers and computer games, so I buy things to make sure my computer is always up to date. I know it's not very sensible, but it's important to me.
4.
That's hard to say. I can save money if there's something I really, really want, but usually my money disappears as soon as I get it. I get some money from my parents every week, so I have just enough money to go to the movies with my friends and to buy something for myself. Maybe a book or a DVD or some makeup. I usually end up buying something. But, for example, if I want to go on a trip with my friends, then I can make an effort and save some money for a few weeks.
5.
Since I was little, I've always saved about a third of the money I get. I would never think of spending all the money I have. You could say that I'm careful about money. When I want to buy something that's expensive, I don't use a credit card. I take the money out of the bank, so I never have to worry about getting into debt.
6.
I'd say a saver, definitely. I like having some money saved in case I have an emergency. I also think very carefully before I buy something, and I always make sure it's the best I can buy for that price. But I wouldn't describe myself as cheap. I love buying presents for people, and when I do spend my money, I like to buy nice things, even if they're more expensive.
Okay. So now, if necessary, listen again If not, let's check your answers. So here, letter A is number 5. Letter B is number 1. C is number 6. D is number 3. E is number 4. And finally, F is number 2. All right. Excellent. So here we are done with page 15. Now we are going to start working on grammar. In this grammar, we're going to discuss about the difference between present perfect and the simple past. Let's please read the conversation. What are they arguing about? Do you understand? Arguing is like discussing angrily. What are they arguing about? Let's go. This is the conversation. Take a look at it and please read. Okay, did you finish? Great, because now write down, please, what do you think that they are arguing about? We are going now to take this conversation once again, and this time you're going to put these verbs in the present perfect or in the simple past. Can you see? We have here some verbs in parentheses. You need to decide if the sentence you're going to use present perfect or simple past. Please pause the video and do it. You're done? Okay. Now listen to the conversation and check your answers. Let's see if they were correct.
1.41.
I haven't seen those shoes before. Are they new?
Yes, I just bought them. Do you like them?
They're okay. How much did they cost?
Oh, not much. They were a bargain, under $100.
You mean $99.99. That isn't cheap for a pair of shoes. Anyway, we can't afford to buy new clothes right now.
Why not?
Have you seen this?
No. What is it?
The phone bill. It came this morning. And we haven't paid the electricity bill yet.
Well, what about the iPad you bought last week?
What about it?
You didn't need a new one. The old one worked just fine.
But I needed the new model.
Well, I needed some new shoes.
Okay, so yes, this is a problem that we are always discussing about, right? All right, so here, people, let me show you here with the transcript so you can make sure you wrote correctly, okay? In number 2, yes, I just bought them. Do you like them? Number 3, how much did they cost? 4, they were a bargain. 5, have you seen this? 6, it came this morning. 7, we haven't paid the electricity bill. 8, what about the iPad you bought last week? Number 9, you didn't need a new one. 10, the old one worked just fine. 11, but I needed the new model. And 12, well, I needed some new shoes. Okay, great. Now I would like to ask you to read again this conversation so you can decide. Do we use the present perfect for a completed action in the past or for recent actions when we don't ask or say exactly when? And what about the simple past? When do we use simple past? So please complete with PP for present perfect and SP for simple past. Okay, you're done. So if you answered for a completed action in the past, we use the simple past. You got it right. And for recent actions when we don't ask or say exactly when, yes, we use the present perfect tense. Okay? Please, let's go to Grammar Bank so we can check out some more examples here. Listen to the examples and please pause so you can repeat all these examples here.
1.42. 1.
I've been to Miami, but I haven't been to Tampa.
Have you ever lost your credit card?
Sally has never met Bill's ex-wife.
2.
I've already seen this movie twice. Can't we watch another one?
My brother hasn't found a job yet. He's still looking.
Have you finished your homework yet? No, not yet.
Okay. So let's see. Here in these two first examples, we are working on the present perfect tense. Remember that the present perfect tense, we usually use have or has as the auxiliary verb. Okay. And then we need to use the past participle verb. You can, for example, go to page here, irregular verbs 165. In this page you can find the most common verbs that we usually use here. Okay, the past participle is the third column of the verbs. Okay, so infinitive is the base form, how we use in the present. The simple past, okay, is the second column. And for the past participle, is we use when we are using the present perfect tense, for example. So you can check the page 165 for more examples, especially the verbs that you are not familiar with. Okay. Alright, so this is the structure of the present perfect tense. But now we're going to focus on when to use them. In the first examples we have here to talk about past experiences. In the sentence, for example, I've been to Miami, but I haven't been to Tampa. I am talking about an experience that I had before, and I'm not specifying when I did it. I am just talking about the experience. So we can say that we use the present perfect for past experiences when we don't say exactly when they happened. We often use ever or never when we ask or talk about past experiences, and they usually go before the main verb. Okay, so for example, have you ever lost your credit card? At any time in your life, have you ever lost your credit card? And to answer, you can say, no, I've never lost my credit card. Sally has never met Bill's ex-wife. Okay, so we usually use ever and never to talk about the past experiences. In example number 2, with yet and already, we usually use to give emphasis. I've already seen this movie twice. I've already seen. You can say I've seen this movie twice. But here I am using already just to emphasize in the action, okay? Can we watch another one? Oh, I've already seen this twice. Can we watch another one? My brother hasn't found a job yet. He's still looking. Okay, so in American English, we use the present perfect and the simple past with yet and already. It's okay to use either or. Already is used in affirmative sentences and goes before the main verb. But yet, it is usually used in negative and interrogative sentences. In the negative sentences, it usually goes at the end of the sentences, and of course, the questions as well. Okay? And please check the page 165 to see more participles, okay, for the irregular verbs. Excellent. So now another example that we have here is with the simple past, so we can contrast here the differences. Let's listen here the examples. Pause and repeat.
1.43.
They got married last year.
What time did you wake up this morning?
I didn't have time to do my homework.
Okay. So here, we use the simple past for finished past actions, especially when we say ask or know when they happened. We have here last year, this morning. I didn't have time to do my homework. It also helps you understand that you didn't do it before because you didn't have time to do it. Okay? So past actions when you know when they happened. And now, putting them together, let's see. Present perfect or simple past? Repeat these examples, please.
1.44.
I've been to Miami twice. I went there in 1998 and 2002.
Okay, so here in this sentence, I've been to Miami twice. In this case, you're talking about in my life up to now, so far, until now. I've been to Miami twice, talking about the experience. I went there in 1998 and 2000. Now I am being more specific, two specific occasions. You know exactly when they happened. This is why we're using the simple past. So we use simple past, not the present perfect, to ask or talk about finished actions in the past. When a time is mentioned or understood, we often use the past time expression, like for example, yesterday, last week, okay, with the simple past. Okay, so these are the examples. Now, we are going to do these exercises. A. Complete the mini dialogues with the present perfect form of the verbs in parentheses and an adverb from the list. You can use the adverbs more than once. So please complete these sentences here with already, ever, never, or yet. We can use, you are going to complete with the present perfect tense of the verbs, okay? So please pause the video and answer. Okay, so here we have the example in A. You, the lottery, play. We can complete here with have. Have you played? Have you played the lottery yet? That's why I'm smiling. I won $50. Okay, so this is one example. Let's correct it here now. Number one, uh, have you ever booked a flight online? Yes, of course. I've done it many times. Number two, when are you going to buy a motorcycle? Soon. I have already saved almost $1,000. 3. Have you paid the electricity bill yet? No, sorry. I forgot. Number 5. 4, sorry. Have your parents ever lent you money? Have your parents ever lent you money? Yes, but I paid it back as soon as I could. 5. How does eBay work? I don't know. I have never used it. 6. Have you ever been to Thailand? No, I haven't, but I'd like to someday. 7. Why don't you have any money? I've already spent my salary. I bought a new tablet last week. 8. Do you like Hugh Jackman? Yes, I have already seen his movie twice. His new movie twice. Okay, very well. Now, moving on to exercise B. Right or wrong? Write a check or an X next to the sentences. Correct the wrong sentences. An example that we have here. I've never been in debt. Correct. How much has your new camera cost? Wrong. How much did your new camera cost? Okay, you're talking about something that it's a completed action from the past. How much did your camera cost? Okay, an example for you. To talk about the experience, we use the present perfect. But to ask about details of something you did, you use past tense, simple past, okay? Let's go pause the video and answer the questions. Check if they are right or wrong and correct the ones that are wrong. Okay, did you finish? So let's go. Let's correct together. In number 1, Dean inherited $5,000 from a relative. It's okay. Correct. Number 2, did your sister pay you back yet? It's also okay. 3, we booked our vacation online a month ago. It's correct. A month ago. 4, when have you bought that leather jacket? Oops, you want to know when? So this is specific information, okay? When did you buy the leather jacket? 5, they've finished paying back the loan last month. We are specifying when it happened. It was last month. You don't use present perfect when you know when it happened. They finished paying back the loan last month. 6, we haven't paid the gas bill yet. Experience, it's okay. Have you ever wasted a lot of money on something? It's also correct, asking about experience. 8, I'm sure I haven't borrowed any money from you last week. Last week, it's definite, it's a specific time in the past, so I'm sure I didn't borrow any money from you last week. Number 9, I spent my salary really quickly last month. Last month, a specific time, spent, simple past is correct. And 10, have you seen the Batman movie on TV yesterday? Yesterday is a specific time in the past. So, did you see the Batman movie? Okay, great. I hope you got it. Please let me know if you have any questions about it. Now, let's move on to next exercise, letter E. This exercise we will be practicing in our online class. So in pairs we will interview each other with the questions and then ask for more information. If you want to, you can get ready for this exercise writing in your notebook your answers. Have you ever bought or sold something on eBay or a similar site? What? Have you ever lost a credit card or your wallet? Have you ever saved for something a long time? Have you ever wasted money on something you've never used? Have you ever won any money, for example, in a lottery? Have you ever lent money to someone who didn't pay you back? Have you ever bought something online and then discovered that it was a scam? Have you ever been charged too much in a restaurant? Okay, so now you are going to write down your answers. Here is just some examples of what we're going to do in our online class, okay? Moving on, page 17. We have here now an article, okay, from about from one of the people who was a successful person that came from the scratch, literally, okay, from the zero. So before we go through the text, try to answer these questions here. Think of 2 people you know personally or have heard of who are very rich. Did they earn their money? How did they earn their money? Did they inherit their money from somebody? From who? Or did they win it? How did they win it? If they earned their money, was it because they were very lucky, they worked very hard, or they had a special talent? Good. Now, you will read this interview with a billionaire. How did he become so rich? Why is his success surprising? What does he do to help homeless people? Let's go through the text now so we can see. From the streets to success. John DeJoria, an American billionaire businessman, owns several companies, including John Paul Mitchell Systems, a successful brand of hair products. However, DeJoria was not always wealthy. He was the second son of immigrant parents and grew up in a very poor area of Los Angeles, California. Before forming his hair product company with only $700, he was a street gang member for some of his youth. He then worked at low-paying jobs, including encyclopedia salesman, janitor, and insurance salesman. And he was homeless twice. The joyous self-made rise is an inspiring story. As a child, you were fairly entrepreneurial, weren't you? My first job at 9 years old was selling Christmas cards door to door. At 10 years old, my brother and I had paper routes. We got up at 4 o'clock a.m., folded the papers and delivered them, and then got ready for school. As you got old, you continued to work. Is that right? The job that was one of the most influential experiences you can imagine was door to door selling encyclopedias. Doors literally slam in your face, maybe 30, 40 doors before the first customer will actually talk to you and let you in. You've been homeless, haven't you? Twice. Once when I was about 22 years old. The other time was when I started John Paul Mutual Systems in 1980. I wasn't getting along with my wife at that time, so I had left and had given her all the money. We had a backer for John Paul Mutual Systems putting in $500,000. That money was supposed to arrive that day. I never got a penny. So I just slept in my car, and I slept in my car for the first 2 weeks when I started the company. So we started with humble beginnings. Do memories of the streets motivate you? It sure makes you very appreciative of what you have in your life. Those who are homeless, like people with kids who are homeless, I really have a heart for. So I participate in a lot of charitable organizations that take the homeless off the streets. What are the biggest problems you faced in business? The biggest problem is rejection. Any business you start, be ready for it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people do all the things the unsuccessful people don't want to do. When 10 doors are slammed in your face, go to door number 11 with a smile. When did you know you had made it? I was in business 2 years, and we were able to pay every single bill on time. We had a couple of $1,000s in the bank, $4,000 to be exact. And we said, man, we made it. It's all downhill now. It was really hard. It took a couple of years. What was the first thing you bought yourself at that point? I went to a restaurant. This is the first time I said, I'm going to order off the left side of the menu, not the right side. The right side is where the prices are. Carne asada, guacamole, whatever I wanted. I didn't even look at the prices. That to me was a pretty big deal. Wow, really inspiring, isn't it? So guys, now what you are going to do is answer these questions here. How did he become so rich? Why is his success surprising? What does he do to help homeless people? Pause the video and answer. So he became rich selling hair products. His success is surprising because he was very poor as a child and homeless as a young adult. He participates in charitable organizations that take homeless people off the streets. Okay, now Please read the interview again and number the events in the order in which they happened. Please pause the video and do it. Okay, let's check your answers. So, number 1 is letter G. He sold Christmas cards from door to door. And then after that, he delivered newspapers. Then he sold encyclopedias from door to door. After that, he was homeless. And 5, we have H. He started a hair product company with $700. And then 6, letter E. He left his wife. 7C. An investor didn't give him the money he had promised him. 8A. He was homeless again. And 9I. He was able to pay his bills on time. Okay, so this is the order of the events from the text, from this interview. What do you think you can learn from Joan's story? Get ready to tell me all about it in our class, okay? Now we're going to focus on the highlighted words and phrases related to money and business. So please try to figure out the meaning of these words. The first word we have here is billionaire. Then brand, wealthy, low-paying jobs, salesman, self-made, entrepreneurial, paper routes, door to door, customer, backer, putting in $500,000, rejection, made it, bill, and that's it. Okay, so to conclude this exercise, complete the questions with one of the highlighted words and phrases, then ask and answer the questions with a partner. I'm not going to give you here the answers, so please check, okay, the meaning of these words. Please check the meaning of these words and send them to me, what you got for them, okay? Now, in letter F, you are going to complete the questions with one of the highlighted words and phrases. Then ask and answer the questions with a partner. So here, take a look at these questions and try to complete them with one of these words in highlights. Okay, you got it? Let's check your answers. What brand of hair product do you use? How long have you used it? 2. Do you know anybody who sells encyclopedias or other products door to door? What does he or she sell? Does he or she enjoys it? Enjoys his or her job? 3. If you needed a backer to lend you money to start a business, who would you ask and why? 4. Have you ever experienced rejection from a boss, a teacher? How did you feel? 5. Do you know anybody who has tried to succeed in a difficult career, like acting, but who hasn't made it yet? Is he or she still trying, or has he or she given up? Right? So this is what you've got as your activity for lesson 2A. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? And just before we get finished here, remember you have the workbook exercise on page 11, page 12, and 13. So here, you are going to do the vocabulary activity, money, complete the sentences with the corrective verb in the parentheses. Then in B, complete the sentences with the correct preposition. You can look at the vocabulary bank for help. C, complete the advertisement with the words in the box. Okay. Next page, we have the pronunciation. The letter O. Circle the word with a different sound. So, for example, here we are. We have the sound like in up. Money, nothing. Sold, one. So the different sound is sold. Do the same with the others. Then, starting grammar, you are going to circle the correct answer. Simple past or present perfect. B, complete the dialogues with the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. Then, next column, we have a reading exercise. You will read the first chapter of a book about Daniel Swallow once, and then where did he decide to live? With friends, family, in the country, in a city. So read and answer these questions, okay? Next page we have here, read the chapters again and choose the correct answer. Here you are going to answer some questions about the text, okay? Look at the highlighted words and phrases. What do you think they meant? Use your dictionary to look up their meaning and pronunciation. To finish, we have a listening exercise. Listen to 4 speakers talking about how they manage on their incomes. Match the speakers with their situations. B, listen again and mark the sentences true or false. And to finish with, we have useful words and phrases. These words are the words that are important for you to memorize. The new words from this vocabulary, from this lesson, okay? So that's it. Thank you very much. Please let me know if you have any questions or something that I can help you with, okay? See you in class. Bye-bye.